Tampa Bay, Florida. Let me adjust my mic levels here. I was just a little bit loud. Hey, Chris Jenkins, credentialed member of the media covering the Carolina Panthers for Charlotte Vibe, here live in Tampa Bay, Florida. Going to get you ready to watch this matchup, a very big matchup, undoubtedly the biggest game of Coach Wilkes' career, the biggest game of the Panthers this season. With so many things that were going downhill, it's great to have this feel-good story to now be reporting on. But again, Chris Jenkins, a.k.a. Man of the People, covering the Carolina Panthers for Charlotte Vibe. I want to invite you to hit that like button if you haven't already done so. Remember, every day you watch this show, hit that like button. Help me continue to grow this channel so I can continue to do more stuff like this right here for you guys. Subscribe to the channel. Help us get to 6,000 subscribers, all right? Again, here live in Tampa, Florida. I don't know if I'm going to be sweating. I already feel a little bit of perspiration. It's a little bit humid down here. It's very cloudy right now. I think it's not supposed to rain, but I'm not here to give you a weather forecast. I'm here to talk about this matchup of the Carolina Panthers and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So give me just a second just to make sure that everything is working well. I don't have my co-host, Andre Cassidy, here, which helps me make sure that I got everything up and running properly. So I'm going to take a second. Looks like that's working there. I'm going to go to one other spot, make sure that everything is working well, and then we're going to get you guys ready to watch this Carolina Panthers matchup today. I'm hoping for a victory, man. I'm hoping for a victory. Raise your hand if you're hoping for a victory. All right, so everything's up and running well there. And let me come back to my screen here. All right. It doesn't look like all the comments immediately come through on my end that you guys have. So pardon the delay if there's a delay from when you guys type your messages. All right, so let's go ahead and get you ready to watch this game today. I always like to start the show off talking about the recent transactions for this Carolina Panthers team as they get ready to take on the Tampa Bay Bucs. So transaction number one, Andre Roberts has been activated. So he is eligible to be active today. We'll see before the end of this video if he actually makes the active list. I'm going to say it's a very strong chance that he will be because there was no reason to activate him yesterday if Coach Wilkes and company did not feel really confident that he'll be able to be activated today. If he is activated, you know, he's been dealing with an illness all week. He's been dealing with an injury all season. But I'm just going to say if he's activated, still expect Shi Smith to not be returning punts. This is my opinion. And certainly not kicks. You know, Andre Roberts was brought here specifically as a return specialist. So he will absolutely, if active, be a part of our kickoff return. I'm also sincerely hoping that if he's activated, that he will relieve Shi Smith of those punt return duties, and Andre Roberts will be back there returning punts for the Carolina Panthers. The other transaction that took place, which was no surprise, Josh Norman being activated today for this Tampa Bay Buccaneers matchup. Josh Norman, former Panthers, then went to Washington, then went to Buffalo, then went to San Francisco, then was in Atlanta working as a barista at his coffee shop, has now signed with the practice squad earlier this week, and will now be active today versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So what will his role be today? We don't know exactly. It's going to depend on a lot of things. It's going to depend on how Josh continues to play once he gets out there. But it's mostly going to depend on what kind of schemes and packages they're needing to put out there to stop Tampa Bay. No more than 25 plays will we see Josh Norman today. So that means no more than half the game, approximately, should you expect to see Josh Norman out there getting some reps, all right? So those are your two transactions. Again, Andre Roberts and Josh Norman. And again, in about 23 minutes here, we should have the inactive list to know which one of those players will and will not make it. Again, let me continue to check everything to make sure everything is good. Everything seems to be good. I see some comments coming. Please keep those comments coming, as well as hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment, because once I get through this information where I'm going to get you ready for today's game, I'm going to go ahead and talk through your comments, all right? Let's see here. Next thing that we got going for you. Let's talk more about what these teams' records are and what's at stake. So we all know, and hopefully my voice doesn't go before this show is over. I wasn't able to get any water, but I wanted to go live as close to being on time as possible. So what's at stake? Tampa wins today, they're going to be in the playoffs. If the Carolina Panthers win today, they continue to control their own destiny in terms of making the playoffs. It's not done if we win today. But certainly a huge step will be beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers today. Because again, if we lose, I'm going to stop saying again, because that's like repetitive. If we lose, Tampa is in the driver's seat. Tampa's going to win the NFC South. So current record for the Carolina Panthers coming into this game today are 6-9 after defeating the Detroit Lions in a very outstanding fashion last week in Charlotte at Bank of America Stadium. The final score in that game was Carolina 37, Detroit 23. We're facing Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who come into this game 7-8, still not 500. No team in this NFC South is 500. Tampa Bay is 7-8 after a comeback overtime victory, defeating the Arizona Cardinals. Final score in that game was Tampa Bay 19, Arizona 16. So the Panthers and the Bucs have played each other just 44 times, quite a few times, and we hold the lead. I wanted to build that and ask you all if you thought that Tampa was holding the lead or Carolina, but I already gave it away. Carolina holds the lead in the series of the 44 games played. Carolina leads the series 25-19, and the Panthers won the first game back in Charlotte, where the Bucs only scored 3 points. It'd be great if we see a repeat performance of that, but with these divisional games, rarely do you see a repeat performance of how things happened the first game being how they happen the second game in terms of 21-3. Teams can win, but it's typically done in a different kind of fashion. But we did beat them, so this is a chance to sweep the series and again make that playoff chance. But sweeping the series with the Bucs ever since they've gotten Tom Brady has been quite a challenge. All right, so lots of challenges, but I'm Team Carolina. I'm Team Wilkes. I feel like we can certainly have a good chance, even with the injuries that we have mounting up, have a great chance at still coming across on the positive side and winning this game today. Even though the last time we swept Tampa Bay, I'm going to let you guys guess. What was the last time we swept Tampa Bay? It's a bit of a delay, so I don't know how long I want to give you guys to answer this question, because I want to also spend a lot of time answering your questions. But the last time that we swept Tampa Bay was in 2017. So it's been quite a while since we swept Tampa Bay. All right, so let me go ahead, without further ado, and get some shout-outs to you all that are on here, making this show fun. We're live for a reason, all right? And we're live because we want to be interactive, and I want to hear from you all. So when I get through this, getting you ready to watch the game, have you sounding like a pro watching this game with your friends, then I'm going to answer your questions. But let's go ahead and give a few shout-outs. Bryce Jones says, keep pounding. Appreciate it, Bryce. Chris Johnson, I don't know what you were trying to type, but I'm going to go ahead and say hello to you out there. Appreciate you signing on. Oh, yeah, I did not say Happy New Year's. Happy New Year's, as my man Andre says. Charlotte Vibe family, Happy New Year's to you. Hope everyone had a good New Year. I was myself in the hotel room getting ready for today's game when the clock struck 12, but hopefully you guys all did whatever you wanted to do and had a joyous New Year as it turned last night. But Aaron Patton says, what it is, happy 2023 to all. And I am praying to Father God for a victory today. And it looks like you put in a little Spanish out there, which I cannot even try to say. NFL Kid says, hey y'all, what's going on, NFL Kid? Chance Hines says, what's up? Appreciate you tuning in again. If you guys are watching, hit that like button. All right, I need those likes. Rodney W says, what's happening, Chris? What's going on, Rodney? Good to see you. And look at my man, Tin Tizzy, helping me out. Hit them likes. Yes, please hit them likes. All right, so I'm going to come back to some of those comments there, continue to get you guys ready. All right, so this is part of the show where I give you some interesting facts. You ready? Write them down, because again, when you're watching the game with a buddy, you can blurt out something before the announcers, because I'm going to make you look like the pro Panther fan today with some of these facts, right? First one, for the running game. Ready for it? Write it down. All right, here we go. Since week 7, Deontay Foreman's 744 yards are the third most rushing yards in the league. So no letdown since we let go of Christian McCaffrey. That front line has really done a good job. But we rank third behind two people. And both of these guys have been playing all season. Deontay didn't really come in until that week 7. But Josh Jacobs with 1,049 and Derrick Henry, who Foreman just got through playing with before he came to Carolina, both are ahead of him and lead the league. I'm sorry, currently in third place. Another one for you, because I like to get some special teams love. Got to give the special teams love, especially after everybody was ready to get Eddie Pinheiro out of here after that game in Atlanta where he missed those field goals and we lost. We're all just like, come on, Eddie, because he missed a short one, missed a very short one. Eddie has made 16 straight field goals. He's 31 of 33 for 93.9% on the season. So I don't want this to be a field goal battle today because that gives Tom Brady too much of an opportunity to come back in this game. But I do like and I do greatly appreciate that our field goal kicker is extremely accurate. We got a Pro Bowler on this team. Only have one Pro Bowler this year. Brian Burns, back-to-back Pro Bowl visits for the Carolina Panthers. He's not far away from a milestone. Again, I can't exactly give you all the time to guess, but I'm going to let you guess for a second. What milestone is Brian Burns just 2.5 sacks away from doing? He's just 2.5 sacks away from tying Kevin Green and Greg Hardy for most sacks in the season, which I believe is 15. He currently has 12.5 right now, so just 2.5 more sacks. He'll be in some elite company with Kevin Green and Greg Hardy at 15 total sacks. Continuing with these special teams shouts, all right? My man Johnny Hecker been doing an excellent job this year punting for the Carolina Panthers. Special teams has been a really good thing for us this season as we go to this new look offense of great special teams, solid defense. Man, still got some leftovers from that Seattle sickness. But my man Johnny Hecker needs just 3 punts inside the 20, and he will have a franchise record. Didn't mean to leave Ten Tizzy's comment up there. Sorry about that. But Johnny Hecker currently has 32 punts and needs just 3 more punts inside the 20 to tie Todd Sarbon for the most punts inside the 20. Last one for you. No, I actually got a few more for you. A few more. There's a lot of fun facts today, getting ready for the game. All right, this next one is about my man Sam I Am, which I was not a believer. I'm honest with it, but I'm on the wagon. I'm on the boat since we're in Tampa with Sam Darnold riding it out for this season as he starts to show signs that maybe, just maybe, Sam's ready to turn his career around for the better and continue to be a starting quarterback for an NFL franchise. So Sam, I think, is 3-1 as a starter since coming back, and his passer rating, 104.3 over his 4 starts. Let me read that to you again. Sam Darnold, 104.3 passer rating for this team in all 4 of his starts. Did you know that is better than every team in the NFC South? Tom Brady, New Orleans Saints, Atlanta Falcons. He has the best passer rating right now for the season for the NFC South. So salute to you, Sam. Good job. Keep that beard going, I guess. And we'll get some victories and hopefully make the playoffs this year. Last but not least, Sam has been pretty clean. He's not been getting sacked much at all. They've been opening up some big holes for Deontay Foreman, for Chuba Hubbard, and as well as Blackshear when he gets the opportunity to get in there. There's no secret to why they are able to do that. This Carolina Panthers offensive line has seen very little change after having lots and lots of change last year. Last year we had 13 different starting lineups. This year we have only had 2. Just 2 starting lineups this entire season. Shows you how much some continuity, some playing with that guy on the left and playing with that guy on the right, depending on your position, but playing with that same group of guys can do for a team. And then you get a new coach like Steve Wilkes in there. You got these guys playing extremely physical football. They're keeping Sam clean. So much so that Sam, man, I hate that I still got remnants of Seattle. So much so that Sam decided to do the quarterback tradition. Quarterback tradition says get your linemen a gift each holiday. So I guess it was a better gift than what he did as a rookie in New York, because as a rookie in New York, they went to like take the tires off his car and play a joke on him. But here, this season with the Carolina Panthers, he got them all gas-powered oven pizzas. Yeah, oven pizzas. These guys like to eat. And I think they still do it. I know Taylor Moton, I've talked about it a few times. They have a guy once a week that cooks something out on the grill or some kind of deal for them. They all eat together. So I'm sure the oven pizza will go a long way with these guys as they continue to keep on that weight so they can be some big bodies, keeping them safe and clearing some lanes for Deontay Foreman. All right, let me check in, make sure that everything's still working well. All right, some good comments coming, Keep the comments coming. All right, as I'm getting through this pregame show for you guys, and we're getting closer to that inactive list coming out. Probably see the traffic behind me increasing. To give you a perspective of where I'm at, the field is to my left right here. It's a media entrance, and you may see some police cars going by right here behind me, and then right here is one of the main entrances where you see a lot of people coming in. I may try to pan the camera before the end of the video to give you a little bit of perspective and show you the current situation here in Tampa. But again, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I need to get to 6,000 subscribers, all right? All right, so let's go over some top 10 rankings. This, again, give you a perspective for what you should be seeing today with this team. Now, I just got through talking about that offensive line and how we've had continuity, only having 2 changes this season, 2 different starting lineups this season compared to 13 last season. We're now moving up in some offensive categories that we didn't have before, all right? So previously we didn't have any, and then we'd have one where we'd have a 13th ranking. Now we have 2. We have 2 top 10 rankings on the offensive side. No surprise here on what those are. Rushing, both of these are rushing categories, all right? So the first one, we're ranked 10th in rushing yards per game at 131. No surprise after having 321, I believe, yards rushing last week, that we move up in that category. So again, 10th in the NFL in rushing yards per game. We also moved up in rushing yards per attempt, which we had been pretty solid at most of this season. But now we're 10th place rushing yards per attempt, currently at 10th with 4.68 rushing yards per game. And going back to this offensive line that has continuity, that is protecting Sam, that earned the pizza ovens. They don't have a top 10 ranking, but they're getting very close to it. They're ranked 11th in sacks allowed per game. So they're keeping Sam Darnold clean, giving him a chance to stay poised in the pocket and opening up gaps for Deontay and Chuba. So some good things going on there for that offensive line. Now on the defense, we don't have any top 10. And we're actually sliding a little bit, which, you know, at first I'm like, man, how are we sliding in defense when defense has been a good part for us? But I know what's happening. We're doing very good early on in defense, and then as we get leads, which we've been getting lately, they've been coming back a little bit. But the thing that I appreciate about this defense is they tighten up when they have to tighten up. They get that turnover when they need to stop the team from putting 7 points on the board. That's been key. And also, before I go to be hard, and I say this because I was about to really try to figure out why our defensive rankings are so low, but we are still, relying on this defense. Well, the other thing that's been happening is we've had a war of attrition back there on the defensive side. We've lost Dante Jackson. J.C. Horn is out. We've lost Jeremy Chin, even though he's back. So there's been a lot of injuries on that defensive side. We've even had guys go out due to what we didn't know at the time was a medical reason. I think Anderson, I want to say Henry Anderson, I might be wrong on that name, but one of our ends up front had been out for a while dealing with an illness, and he returned. So that's good coaching that we've lost key guys, very good key guys, in a secondary that we thought were going to be great and had so much depth. We've had so many different lineups on that secondary, but they're holding and they're able to create turnovers at very key points in the game, and then we're not having any turnovers on the offensive side. So it's still working out for us pretty good. All right, I'm going to get ready to get into some of these comments here, talk about what to expect from this game, looking at some of my notes here. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about, it is a few more bugs here than in Charlotte, but you can imagine because it's wet It's in the South that you're going to have that, so I'm not going to complain about it. All right, keys to the game today, and what can we expect? Well, we know one thing. Tom Brady is darn good at getting the ball out of his hand. Very, very good at getting the ball out of his hand. Tom Brady also has played games. This team offensively, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they have been pretty bad. They have been pretty slow coming out of the gate. Pretty slow even coming out in the second half. But something that always happens is a change when you have Tom Brady back there at the quarterback. So I'm going to play a clip on Coach Steve Wilks talking about Tom Brady and his ability to get the ball out. Tom Brady and his ability to come back, because that's something that we're going to have to be careful about today. We get a lead, remember who you're playing before you get ready to celebrate too much. But here's Steve Wilks on Tom Brady and his ability to come back.
Our DNA is the last element is finish. We got to learn how to finish. You know, we talked about that with the Seattle game, even last week with some of the things you saw happen late in the game on the defensive side of the ball. When you have the best to ever do it at that position, they're never out of the game, and he's shown that several times, even against the Saints early in the year. So we really have to have that finish mentality and understand that this is going to be for 60 minutes, maybe 60 plus, as we saw what they had to do last week. So going against Brady is always going to be a tough task. And as again, he's one of the best to do it at that position.
So there you have it, Coach Wilks saying we got to finish it. We got to play for 60 minutes, maybe even more, because Tom Brady always gives his team a chance to win. Now, something that they have been able to do offensively well to make up for a lot of inefficiencies that they've been having is they use Leonard Fournette in a somewhat Christian McCaffrey kind of way to get some yards. So there's two things that have happened in that offense that they do to pick it up. Number one, when they go into that no huddle towards the end of the game, that seems to be giving them an advantage. So I don't know if Tampa Bay is going to look to do that early on in this game today if they see the Carolina starting to pull away. So look for that. The other thing that Tom Brady always does, which helps him have the fewest sacks in the league, is he gets the ball out super quick. So it's going to be tough for Brian Burns to get some pressure on him. So it'd be interesting to see what Holcomb does on the defensive side, because they know that they may not get to Tom Brady that quick. But the other thing that they do on the offensive side is they use Leonard Fournette when they can't run the ball, they give him a quick pass to extend his running through short passes. And that was so effective last week that he almost had 100 yards receiving last week. But here's Coach Wilks on that element that the Tampa Bay Bucs do in order to keep the ball moving on their offense.
Well, I think you got to do a great job on the perimeter. You know, you saw in the Cardinals game, he was getting the ball out on the perimeter quite a bit. I think they averaged, I think it was 203 after the catch. You know, so we got to do a great job setting edges, again, working our hands, getting off blocks, and tackling in space. So that has definitely been a point of emphasis thus far this week.
So that perimeter will be key. When they're getting Leonard Fournette the ball, they're not doing a short pass over the middle. They're doing little dumps out to the right, dumps out to the left, giving him a chance to get a little bit of space and get some yards after the catch, because he's such a dynamic runner when he has the ball in his hands, especially most runners. They're so dynamic when you get them out in a little space, gives them a chance to really put the defense on their heels and make some progress. So we'll be looking to stop that, protect the edges. All right, let me go and check if the inactive list has come out yet. It probably hasn't, but let me just check really quickly. And then it's almost time to take you guys' questions, right? All right, it does not look like those inactives are out yet. Let me just double check. All right, so those inactives are not out yet. And let's go ahead and start to answer your question. Man, these bugs. All right, let's go ahead and be interactive. Let's go ahead and earn this Man of the People title. Just a few raindrops out here that I can take, which I think is just this tree dripping. I'm under a tree to get some shade. All right, let me go back here. And where's that sun at? Can you guys see me okay? There's a little shade, but I think you can see me all right. I'm gonna make one quick adjustment. See if this helps. I don't have a camera guy. I'm the camera guy today, so maybe that made me just a little bit brighter. But let's continue to go through some of these comments. Hit the like button if you haven't already done so. And donate. All right, we're independent media, 100% supported by you guys, right? So anytime I get a super chat is so key for me and Andre and the whole team. It's actually 3 of us for home games, just 1 for away games. That's due to budgeting restraints, all right? So anytime that you're able to donate, do a super chat, please do so. I know if you're watching on the phone and you're watching it in full screen, turn it tall. You'll see a little icon that allows you to donate. But I've also done something else to make it easier for you guys to donate, right? Cash App. We now have a Cash App set up for you to give us a little financial support to continue to do what we love to do. That Cash App is CVIBE, C-V-I-B-E, but it's also in the description in case you have the ability to help us out and continue to do what we do. I would love it if you did that. All right, so let's go through some of these comments here. My screen seems a little dark, but nevertheless, maybe I just need some better vision. Chance Hines, we need to dominate just like Detroit to win this game. That'd be great. I mean, anytime you get a run game like we had last week versus Detroit, over 300 yards, it gives you the chance to have some time of possession. And what does that time of possession do? It keeps the other team, whether they're a good offense or not, it keeps them off the field and limits their chances to come back and beat you. And we've been able to master that. Having the ability to run today against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, it's possible. I mean, Deontay had his first big game against Tampa Bay. When P.J. Walker was back there, we mixed it up a little bit in that game. So being able to do that today would absolutely be key. Sam Darnold continuing to play turnover-free ball will be key. And then the Carolina Panthers defense needing to come up with a turnover. Those things will be very helpful in us getting this victory today. Leonard Krause, good morning, Chris and Panther Nation. Run the ball, control the line of scrimmage. Let's get this win. Biggest game in 3+ years for this franchise. Keep pounding. I agree with you there, Leonard. Brad Holt said we did it in 2017. Yes, that's the last time that we swept the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and since Tom Brady has come back to this team, he's really owned the Carolina Panthers. You know, we got that victory early this year, and hopefully we can continue to build on that. Here we go. Ten Tizzy says, where Cassidy at? So Ten Tizzy, Andre doesn't travel. Very expensive traveling and covering this team. So I'm not going to harp on it, but that's where your support for this channel, your super chats, your donations, they come into play because we just can't afford to have the whole team travel. So Andre is back in Charlotte today. I'm sure he'll appreciate that you miss him though. NFL Kid says Happy New Year. John A says Happy New Year. Chris says that was. So Chris, I couldn't see your emoji earlier. It just showed up as like well, you probably saw it on the screen. It just showed up as a square. But thank you for raising your hand there. Donald Duck says, I see that you're live from Tampa. Leave a like on the stream. All this coming from his pocket. Yes, it is not until you guys, I don't want to say it like that, but until we're able to continue to build this channel bigger, where we're able to get more support. But I love the challenge. I love the freedom that I have as an independent media, being able to do things like this hour-long pregame stream that I couldn't do if I was with any other media because of limitations. So appreciate your support, Ten Tizzy, and I'm sorry, Donald Duck, and your comments. And my voice is holding up. I'm happy about that. Let me continue to work through these comments here. Ms. Ryan says, Happy New Year. We need to change your logo colors to the Panthers blue. Looks like you're repping for Tampa. No, it does not. Don't say that. Don't say that. So here's what happens. I normally wear a suit, but I said I'm not going to Tampa and enjoy nice warm weather in a suit in December, like in January. I want to enjoy the weather. So I opted for my polo look, which I wear during the OTAs and during training camp. And I have a red one. Red is my favorite color, but I was like, I cannot wear the red one today. That's the colors of Charlotte vibe, because it's going to be too much like Tampa. So I figured I'd be safe with the black, but you guys are saying it's It's still showing some support. I do have a blue one, but it's like an interesting blue. But all right, I learned my lesson. I'll wear the blue one next time to keep the color similarity not so good. All right, let me again check to see if the inactive list is out so we can talk about that. No inactive list so far. Yeah, no inactive list so far. So we'll answer a few more questions. Rodney says, I like that Piñeiro's been accurate, but can he do it under pressure? That's the problem. Yeah, he can, man. We've had some pressure moments before since that Atlanta game. You know, he's kicked some with distance to them as well. I think he kicked, I'm not that big of a stat nerd, but I know he's been kicking some at just over 50 yards as well, and we've needed them. We've needed him. He's made them all. I was about to say, he made them all in Seattle. He made them all both in Charlotte, but he's made them all since that Atlanta game. So, but you're right about the pressure. That's what he didn't. I would say he didn't miss that first one in Atlanta because of pressure, but I feel like he missed the subsequent ones because of pressures and just let things get on him. But I feel like the way that Coach Wilkes and his team has showed him support, that he's ready for any of those moments right now. Appreciate the comment there, Rodney. Get that man a glass of water. I think I'm holding up pretty well right now, but yeah, I decided again to not go get that water because I didn't want to be late for the show. That one time I flew to Florida, I watched the Bucs-Texans preseason game in my Panthers gear. Okay. Chances Wilkes has earned the head coaching job. Give it to the man. I can't disagree with you there. Let's go. Time for this team to quiet down the doubters, pound the rock, and keep Brady watching the game from the sideline. I like it. Another vote here for Wilkes to be the next head coach of this team. Yeah, you gotta want to see it, right? You gotta want to see it. Wilkes has done he's 500 since taking over this team. It was a team that he took over, and when he did, you were like, man, this thing's a mess, which usually is the case when you get an interim head coach. It's never a good situation when you get an interim head coach, but get an interim head coach after 5 games, lose Christian McCaffrey, lose Robbie Anderson, lose some of your coaching staff that Matt Rule wanted, have so many changes like that, and not only make the games entertaining, but win half of those games, put yourself in playoff position. That's amazing. That's certainly an incredible job. Look at this. Leonard says he'd like to see more of the Arby's package today. Get Cade Mays back in there at fullback. I know Cade Mays was listed on the injury report. I keep checking for the inactive list to come out to see where Cade may stay. But yeah, this team, as committed to the run as I've ever seen a Panthers team. You know, even when we had Jonathan Stewart and D'Angelo Williams, those guys were phenomenal running backs. We had good blocking as well. But to see how many packages this team creates in order to be able to run the ball, tight ends, linemen, Arby's packages, as you mentioned here, I remember being in Seattle, it seemed like the referee named like 4 guys as eligible that were linemen that came into the game. And I'm thinking, I didn't even know that you could have that many players be eligible that are linemen. But they did, and it's working. So I give so much props to Steve Wilkes for what he's doing. J.C. Horn being out is a big deal, but I'm so eager to watch this game because I know if there's a coach that could make up for it and coach this team through it, it's Steve Wilkes. So I'm very high on this game today. All right, he says, just out of curiosity, how big is the Panthers fan turnout in Tampa? I love you guys, so I will say I've already been recognized. I love it when that happens. It's so fun that you guys watch and tune in and travel. But honestly, I haven't seen that many Panthers people. There's a jersey walking by right now. I've seen very few that have made the trip so far, but I will also say I've only been in a very small spot so far in this stadium. There's 4 corners to the stadium, so to say. I'm only in one corner. Haven't drove around much to see anything else, and I get here pretty early. But it does not look like there's a strong Panthers presence here at this game. I'm sure the Roaring Ride is here representing somewhere. All right, I'm going to check this inactive list because it has to be out by now. Right? All right, we got a Tampa chant going on. All right, here we go. The inactives for today. No surprise, J.C. Horn. Wide receiver Rashard Higgins. Safety Justin Burris. Center Sam Tecklenburg. Tackle Larnell Coleman. Defensive end Amari Barnell. So what does that mean? That means that Cade Mays will be playing today. It also means that Andre Roberts will be playing today. And it also means, as we imagine, Josh Norman. So Josh Norman, Andre Roberts, Cade Mays, all should see some action today. With Andre Roberts, yes, you could expect him to do some punt returns and should be doing kickoff returns as well. I really appreciate that. I like Shi Smith, but I don't like Shi Smith returning punts. And somebody having some sure hands back there is great. Now, I normally don't do this, but on the Buccaneers side, those inactives are cornerback Carlton Davis, outside linebacker Carl Nassib, tight end Cam Brett, wide receiver Brashard Perryman, and quarterback Kyle Trask. So that means 2 things. That means Julio Jones, who have been listed on the report as, I believe, questionable today for the Buccaneers. That means Julio Jones will be active. I got too many windows up. And it also means they got a lineman on their defensive side. That means he's up. Let me just, again, try to get to my notes. Oh, here we go. Vita Vea. So I couldn't remember. Vita Vea is going to be active for the Bucs, and that's going to be helpful for the Bucs to try to contain the line, try to contain the rush of Deontay Foreman. So those are your inactives for today. Let me go ahead and get back to you guys' questions. We've got about 20 minutes left here on the show. Hit the like button, and subscribe, and bell notification. I'm going to be live after this game. Let me go ahead and plug that. Win, lose, or draw, 30 minutes after the game, I will be live. I will be on the field, giving you a recap of what has happened today. Hopefully, I'm going to be so excited that I'm just going to be smiling, barely able to talk. One thing is I will not be cold. But 30 minutes after the game ends, I will give you your live post-game show. So I hope that you all will set your reminders, set your alerts, so that you can know when I go live after the game and join me there. All right, let's try to make a dash through some of more of these questions here. Old school Panther fan, let's go. Time for this team to quiet. I think I already read that. Sorry. 4 more, always join us. Appreciate it much. Chance, I think I'm just now getting to this. Asking if you can see me well enough. And I think you said yes, you can, so that's great. It's cliche, but it all starts up front. We control the line of scrimmage. We will win this game. Keep pounding. If it has ever been such a true cliche this season, it 100% is for this Carolina Panthers team. I read the stat earlier, only 2 changes to the offensive line this season, which has created some continuity, which has allowed Deontay Foreman since week 7 to be the top 3 in the NFL rushing. It also has allowed Sam Darnold to have a passer rating for his 4 starts that is the best in the NFC South, over 100 passer rating. It has allowed Sam Darnold to be clean. I don't have the stat right in front of me, but since that change of Steve Wilks coming on, overall for the season, we're not top 10 in preventing sacks, but since Wilks has taken over, we're certainly top 10. So it absolutely starts up front and gives you a darn good chance to win. Since Steve Wilkes has been coaching, it gives you, as you can see, at least a 50-50 chance to win, which is better than it ever was with Matt Rule. We're right now at 6 wins, which is more than we had that whole tenure with Matt Rule. So it starts up front, and hopefully we're going to continue to see a lot of that today. Lots of people wearing Tampa Bay jersey. Nobody is wearing Panthers and Tampa Bay. Yeah, it's pretty. Again, they've opened the gates about 15 minutes ago, and you saw most of the people going in. You don't see a lot of Panthers jerseys out here, and I can't say, you would expect Tampa to have a strong base, especially when they have the greatest quarterback of all times out here. Ali says the transformation of Bearded Sam will get it done. You guys talking about my shirt? Man, some comments about my shirt. Oh, you guys, but you understand. But you understand where my heart is. That's my logo is. My logo has red in it, so to that extent, I have to wear something with red. But I'm of course working for and enjoying the Carolina Panthers. Blended Vegas, hey man, I hadn't seen you on the show in a minute, but it's very good to see you jump on here for a minute. And you said much love. May the new year be your best yet. I appreciate it. I hope it is. I'm always trying to be better for you all each and every year. So appreciate the support. You guys motivate me quite a bit. And Blended Vegas also saying that Wilkes has earned the opportunity to lead this team next year. See that? I didn't properly protect my gear on the flight. My bad. All right, I see you guys telling me that the inactives were out. You deserve it, man of the people. I forget what you may be commenting on, but if it's something positive, you're right. I deserve it. Can't be the man of the people till he drops in on the presser. 10 Tizzy, you keep getting me on that one. Here's the deal, all right? I could go into the presser after the game and go live an hour and a half after the game, which all season long, if we lose, you guys are going to be so over it, which I understand that, earlier on it was like, who would want to wait an hour and a half after the game to hear somebody talk about something that you're already discussing with? So that's the reason I'm not going into the pressers right now, is so that I can get online quicker and get this content out to you guys. It's a little balancing act. But again, I know you're joking, but you've been getting on me. I miss being in the locker room. I may try to get in there. Not today, because again, I want to get online immediately and talk about this team victory today that we're going to have. But I'm glad that you're observant, Tizzy. You think Josh gets a pick this game? I would love it. If Josh Norman gets a pick this game, there were talk all week about the impact that Josh Norman would have on this team. And some people thought I was being a little negative, but when he was first signed, my feeling was we can't get excited about what he can do for this team right now. I feel like a Trey Boston or any other player could help us right now. I didn't feel like Josh could help us immediately coming onto this team. I didn't feel like his veteran leadership, his dog mentality would be something that suddenly boosted the team if he was not in shape and not able to play very much. But if Josh is able to play, and right now Coach Wilkes is saying up to 25 plays, then that can change the possible impact that he will have on this team. And I had a chance to get some comments from Roman Harper earlier this week, and he said that he doesn't know if it's not too many players that can impact a team when they're not out there on the field. When Roman Harper was playing on this team, he said that Peanut Tillman, he was the rare exception. He was one of those guys that could impact the defense, impact the team, whether or not he was on the field or not. And, it says, hey, Roman Harper said, yet to be seen what Josh Norman can do if he's not on the field that much. Now, today, I don't feel like we have that kind of evaluation that we're going to be having for Josh, because he will be on the field, so he will be able to make an impact. So Josh Norman making an interception today, I believe, would be huge. It would. I feel like everybody that's fans would be like, this team is back, and I feel like everybody that plays on this team will be like, oh, this is what it's about. Okay, this is it. This is a positive it that's going to help us continue to win games and make a change. So I'm all for that if that happens today. Hit the like button, Gerard, if you haven't done so already. Germany vets. Does that mean you're from Germany? If so, welcome. Appreciate the international sign on. Can I get a keep pounding? Chance, I would try to do a keep pounding, but I'm also conserving my voice because I haven't had any water. And I'm at the tail end of this hour-long show, so I can't give you that loudly, but I'll give you a decent one. Keep pounding. You guys got to give me the pounding back. That's all I can do with my voice at this time. Shaki says, the longer they stay in this game, the more dangerous it will be for Carolina. What do you think about that statement? That statement is 1,000% true. The longer it's, to me, the run game is important. We gotta score a lot. Well, I shouldn't say a lot, but we gotta score on most of our possessions because we're a ball control offense, so we're not looking to have 10 possessions in the game, 15 possessions in the game. I should say it's a better number. So if you're close and you give Tom Brady anything within 10 points, we want 11 points or more of a lead. I mean, we could win either way, but just like ideally, when you know you got it, you want to watch this game with a lot of confidence, get more than a 10-point lead throughout the game, and you can watch the game with a lot of calmness and excitement for a playoff. But it's a very good statement. Are the Tampa fans hostile towards Panther fans rocking jerseys? Again, I haven't been walking around the stadium much. I literally came in where you guys see me at right now, which is just 1/4 of the stadium. I haven't been able to walk around much, and as soon as I hang up, basically, if you can see where the police are behind me, or you see this little thing right there? That's where I'm going to go into the stadium to the press box. So I don't know, but I hope they're treating them nice. Oh, since he says, when I'm in the presser, say myself as man of the people. You guys know I'm a little bit of a chill, low-key guy. I don't know if I would do that. You know, if it was one-on-one, I may do that, but I don't know. But I like where you're going. He's scared because Bucs fans out there. Not sure what you're talking about being scared of. The only thing I didn't want to do is say to keep pounding because I don't want to lose my voice. But other than that, I feel pretty safe out here. I'm going to go for a facts, big facts on what Tim Tizzy has said. Let's see. Gerard Grant, he's out. He's about to start his podcast. He knows Brady. After all the previous meetings, that's got to count for some impact, even if it's educating guys on what tendencies he's had. He knows Brady, but more than Brady, he knows Mike Evans and he knows Julio Jones. Right? He knows Mike Evans and he knows Julio Jones. So educating Keith Taylor, educating C.J. Henderson, and even T.J. Carey on those guys and their tendencies and what they can do will be good because, you know, these guys used to be on different teams, but now they're both on one team. So I don't think so much Josh helping for Tom Brady's tendencies because it's going to be a big team effort to stop Tom Brady as a whole. But it's going to start with those individual sets, and it's going to be difficult if they decide to, let's go 4 wide, let's go 3 wide, let's spread them out, and make them use all their guys. That could certainly be a plan for Tampa Bay, is to say, we know Josh Norman isn't in shape. He's going to be dogging it out there. So let's early on try to run a lot of wides, 3, 4 wides, and make Josh Norman have to be out there and make him play a lot of plays. And if he's out there and he's able to keep up, well, then let's test C.J. Henderson. Let's test Keith Taylor. So it's a lot of things that could unveil itself during this game. But I want to go ahead and plug this because I'm about to wrap it up. Live show's about to wrap up, so what you want to do when this wraps up is join me on Twitter. All right, all of my social media is Charlotte Vibe, so join me on Twitter. I'm going to be in the press box tweeting you about the game. Can't tweet play-by-play, but things like injuries, guys going into tents, things that you can't see on the broadcast. I'm going to be tweeting those things to help keep you informed about this Carolina Panthers team and what's going on. I think I have one more fun fact that I'm going to share with you guys. Do I have one more fun? Nah, I'm going to skip the fun facts. Let me see if there's one more comment that I could take before we get out of here. Vegas says, I appreciate you. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you as well. Leonard says, I'll be worried if Tampa plays a hurry-up offense with success early in the game. Yeah, I mentioned that as well. The hurry-up offense, something that they've been able to do to come back in these games. Maybe let's do that early so we can jump out on the lead with Carolina, because we know Carolina likes to rely on the run. If they get behind big, that's going to take them to something that they don't want to do. Now, they've been throwing the ball, but that's just not the way they want to play. So they can do the hurry-up, which they've been successful at, or they could try to spread us out and make Josh Norman have to come in there in nickel packages and see what kind of legs that he has on him. So quite a few things that we can see from the Bucs today. Appreciate you, Gerard. And then I'm truly hoping it's not a classic Brady dink and dunk game. So that is it. I'm about to pack it up, go inside. Appreciate the support from everybody. Hit those like buttons, subscribe, turn on your bell notification. Stay tuned with me during the game on Twitter, as I will bring you updates about everything that's happening during the game on there. Post-game, 30 minutes after the post-game, log back on and watch me here. Again, super chats, we need them. We're independent media supported 100% by viewers. Cash App is also an option out there. Links for the Cash App is in the description. Chris Jenkins reporting live from Raymond James Stadium in Tampa Bay for Charlotte 5.